why did Kyle Dake lose to Zahid Valencia? If you check my Twitter mentions, there's a lot of people that think they have a very clear idea of why Kyle Dake lost. And it all starts with a tweet I sent before the match between Kyle Dake and Zahid Valencia, where I looked up the weights and what these two weighed in at. And Kyle weighed in at 84.3, 185 pounds. Zahid weighed in just under 189. And I was surprised to see that Kyle Dake was that big, because if you go back to his run in 2016 when he made the Olympic trials finals at 86, he said he was weighing under 180 pounds. And even then, he made it to the trials finals, won a match against Jaden Cox, who ended up winning an Olympic bronze medal. So seeing that Kyle Dake is all the way up at 185 pounds, I'm like, all right, I don't think size really matters. It's just going to be a wrestling match. And no one said anything after the initial tweet. And then after Kyle Dake lost, they flooded to that tweet and said it was absolutely a factor. It was the number one factor. Kyle Dake lost because he was not big enough. And so I don't agree with that. That's not the match I saw. That's not my read. And here's my response to those people that think that size was why Zahid Valencia was able to win, that he was so much bigger than Kyle Dake. Okay. And forget the fact that a duck under is one of the moves that size can impact. That seems like one of the least, right? I mean, it's all about motion and pressure and speed and timing and things that don't really involve how much you weigh. It's your ability to move and feel and whatever you want to call it. And he transitions beautifully from the duck to the trap arm for 2 and 2. Okay, so forget that maybe think that was a size-based move. I don't know. But even if it was, even if I conceded that yes, Zahid hit this duck and the trap arm gut for 2 and 2 because he was so much bigger, then what happened the rest of the match? Because Zahid got up 5-0 and Kyle Dake got it to 6-4 with 20 seconds to go. Kyle Dake won the second period of that match. So was he bigger in the second period? Was Zahid smaller? What happened in those final couple minutes that the size didn't seem to matter as much, as Kyle Dake was moving Zahid out of bounds? Now you could say, well, Zahid's floating out. I don't think Zahid was giving up those points in some sort of strategic maneuver. Things were not going the way Zahid wanted that second period to go. Kyle Dake was marching back. Kyle Dake, you cannot watch that match and not think Kyle Dake can't win it. And I think what bugs me about everyone just blaming, and it's, you can obviously understand what fans are, subscribing to this rationale. It's Kyle Dake and Penn State fans. They want to say, hey, our guy didn't lose because he wasn't as good. He lost because he's too small. Well, one, he entered this weight class. Two, I don't think it actually matters. And three, how about a little credit to Zahid Valencia? The guy is a world bronze medalist. This is a guy was a singlet pull away from beating Aaron Brooks. This is a guy that's been up 6-0 on Aaron Brooks. He's really, really good, guys. Zahid Valencia is tremendous. 7 years ago when those two wrestled at Final X, it was pretty close. It's not beyond the realm that Zahid Valencia would beat Kyle Dake, right? And so that's my opinion on the matter. I don't think size is why Zahid Valencia lost, or why Kyle Dake lost. I really don't. And I would never, ever count Kyle Dake out of running the gauntlet at World Team Trials and beating Zahid in the 2 out of 3. I think, there's a lot of learnings to be had from a match like that for Kyle Dake. Now, a lot of people are asking, what is next for Kyle Dake, right? What could he be? What are his next moves? What are the next steps for him? Well, for Kyle Dake to get to Final X, he now has to win the World Team Trials, which go down the middle of the May in Louisville, Kentucky. Kyle Dake has to go there. He does have options. He could go down to 79 kilograms. So he could, if he agrees with you guys and he drops down to 79, I will say, okay, maybe size was a factor. Maybe Kyle Dake only lost because Zahid Valencia is so daggone big. Never mind the fact that Zahid Valencia has been one of the smaller 86s over the last couple of years. Forget that. If he goes 79 for the World Team Trials, maybe I'll agree. Maybe I saw it wrong, and Kyle Dake was drastically undersized in this matchup. But what I believe is going to happen is that Kyle Dake's going to go 86 kilograms at the World Team Trials. I think he's going to win that. And then I think he's going to go to Final X and give Zahid Valencia everything he can handle. That's the steps in the process. But the door is open if he wanted to go down to 79 kilograms, a weight where he is a two-time world champion, a weight where he's had a ton of success, a weight where Evan Wick just won, and love Evan Wick, but Kyle Dake is just simply a massive, massive favorite over Evan Wick and probably anyone else that would throw their hat in the ring at 79 kilograms. And not to mention the fact that it would just be the most the most un-Kyle Dake thing ever. This is a guy that he went up to the great challenge. I mean, I'm going back to 2013, but it's still so fresh in my mind when he went up to 165 to challenge David Taylor, the reigning Hodge Trophy winner, so that Kyle could win his 4th NCAA title. And he took the toughest path possible through David Taylor. And so this isn't a guy that's like, oh, it's too hard, I'm going to shift weights. No, he leans into it. And Kyle Dake is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's one of the greatest American wrestlers of all time. And I think you're crazy if you think Kyle Dake's going to run from that challenge. And I also think you're crazy if you think that match was solely impacted by the size. And what is interesting about it, you know, and you can always go back and re-wrestle it and say, wow, if he just doesn't give up that turn, or if he doesn't give up the 2-2, who knows how it goes. And that's exactly what I was thinking. But the one thing you need to remember, and the thing that I'm coming back to, is Kyle Dake he's never been a guy that's going to pepper your legs and get a lot of volume of leg attacks. But he's a guy that when he gets to legs, when he fires, he gets in. And when he gets in, he scores, right? We've seen that over the years for Kyle. The timing of his shots, he's great inside reach single leg, gets up, and has a lot of ways to finish. And what we didn't see here is that Kyle was not able to get to Zahid Valencia's legs. And Zahid is a very, very awkward feel. He's very interesting in his motion and how he threatens with his fakes. It's hard to get a read on what he's doing, and he's a great athlete. He's really fast. Kyle got in on one leg one time. Zahid was able to kick out. So to me, that is the most alarming maybe thing for Kyle Dake moving forward. If you want to say, man, why is this still going to be so hard for Kyle Dake? He wasn't able to get to legs. Now, these are things that can certainly be solved. They're certainly above my head, the process for figuring that out. And certainly Kyle Dake can and has been able to figure things out like that before. But this is a unique position for Kyle Dake. He has not lost to an American since 2017 when he lost to Jordan Burroughs at the World Team Trials, right? That's the last time he lost to an American. So this is sort of uncharted waters. He is wrestling up a weight class that's 26 pounds higher. But go back and look at Parker Keckeisen is certainly a lot bigger than Kyle Dake. He moved him all around the mat. And don't be surprised if when Kyle Dake comes back on the mat against Zahid Valencia, it's a different game plan and that it's going to be a little bit closer. But you cannot discount the fact that it's going to be a gauntlet to get back there. And you've got guys like Carter Storace potentially entering the field at 86, among others, that are going to make it much, much more difficult. So it was an amazing U.S. Open, incredible performance by Zahid Valencia. I tend to give credit when a guy beats a four-time world champion. That's my inclination, to give a little bit of credit to Zahid. He beat the guy. But plenty of hope, plenty of still a great opportunity for Kyle Dake. And, you know, selfishly, you can't help but want to see that match again. And my prediction is that we will see it again. I think he's going to win the World Team Trials, and we'll see it at Final X. So that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Was it size? Did I just completely miss it? Was this all about how big Zahid Valencia was? Or did he just win a wrestling match with wrestling moves? You tell me. I want to hear from you. Set me straight.